Introductory material of The Enterprise of the Mayflower by Amos MacDonald. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Stage directions, read by Marianne Spiegel.
Master William Brewster, read by Andrew Calvillo.
Mistress Mary Brewster, read by Leanne Yao.
Master William Bradford, read by Todd.
Master John Carver, read by Rav Agarwal.
John Alden, read by James McAndrew.
Mistress Priscilla Mullins, read by Linda Olson Vitak.
Master John Robinson, read by Alex Cohn.
Robert Cushman, read by Roger Moline.
Master John Billington, read by Scott Kelly.
Mistress Ellen Billington, read by Twinkle.
Captain Miles Standish, read by Greg Giordano.
Officer, read by Esteban Simonides.
Samoset, read by Adele de Pigneroles.
Additional singing by George Allen.
Stage directions. For this play, it is an advantage to have two openings onto the stage, right and left. No footlights or proscenium curtain are necessary. Two of the children, in their acting clothes, can come on the stage after the prologue and between the scenes, and arrange chairs, tables, etc., in the view of the audience. No scenery is required. Localities may be indicated by placards, as William Brewster's house in England, on board the Mayflower, etc. Curtains of some plain color, green serge or brown holland, for instance, make a good conventional background for all the scenes. A garland of evergreen, caught up at regular intervals, can be hung across the background curtains. For the outdoor scenes in New England, there should be two large bushes of greenery. If nothing large enough can be had in a pot, two wooden chairs completely covered with boughs and ivy will make good bushes. Properties. Act 1. Scene 1. William Brewster's house in England. A chest, two chairs, table, jug, cup. Act 2. Scene 1. The wharf, Southampton. Pilgrims' bundles, baskets of bread, fruit, etc. Sack of meal, pen and papers, barrels. Scene 2. On board the Mayflower, at point of departure. Pilgrims' bundles, letter. Scene 3. On board the Mayflower, at sea. Table, paper, ink, and pens. Scene 4. The coast of America. Bushes, sticks, and boughs on the ground. Act 3. Scene 1. The same inside a hut. Two chairs, table, jug, cup, bricks to represent a fireplace, pot, knife, bread. Scene 2. New Plymouth. Maize seed. Act 4. Scene 1. The same, out of doors. Table, bread, fruit, jugs, cups, dishes, etc. for a feast. Branches and flowers, sheaf of corn, basket of fruit. The number of pilgrims, boys or girls, can be increased, or one actor could take two parts. The pilgrim's dress is a simple form of the costume of the early 17th century. It is very effective and should not be difficult or expensive to make. Each actor could be dressed, on a rough average, for about 3 shillings, exclusive of shoes and stockings. With regard to the whole effect, the proportion of colors should be kept even, full colors, and not art shades chosen, plenty of black used. White can be reserved for collars, cuffs, ruffs, and for a few of the costumes. For dress materials, sateen in various colors, at 4 3/4 or 6 3/4 a yard, is good. Horticultural sheeting, 50 inches wide, 1 shilling a yard. Messrs. Cookson, Wellington Mills, Manchester, is very useful for the full skirts and thick coats of the pilgrims, and can be easily dyed with maypole soap. House flannel, at 4 3/4 a yard, is also a good material for coats, etc. The boys' steeple hats can be made of carpet felt. For the boys, the principal measurements are chest, waist, neck to waist, waist to knee, arm, head. For the girls, bust, waist, neck to waist, waist to ankle, arm, head. The boys wear a short coat with long, tight sleeves. There is either a round puff, or else the shoulder projecting over the top of the sleeve. Probably the whole coat, with the exception of the sleeves, was made in one piece, the fold on either side of the neck opening being turned in, and so giving the long, overhanging appearance of the shoulder seen in portraits of the time. There is a basque round the coat, which is longer in front than behind, often slightly pouched in front. The knickerbockers are plain and rather full. To minimize undressing, and to give the bulky appearance of the period, the boys can wear these over their own knickerbockers. The hats are tall and tapering, of the Guy Fawkes type. The girls wear a wide, plain skirt to the ankle. It should be very full round the waist, and can be, in some cases, slightly stuffed out behind and on the hips, with a small semicircular cushion or farthingale tied round the waist under the dress. The tight bodice fastens down the front, and sometimes has a basque like that of the boys' coats. The caps are close-fitting. Both caps and aprons can be colored. In the outdoor scenes, a kerchief or hood is often worn over the cap. Butterick's patterns of coats and bodices for boys and girls can be used, with modifications of the sleeves, etc. The children can wear their ordinary shoes with large rosettes to match the clothes, fastened with safety pins on to the shoelaces. But very cheap white canvas shoes can be had and painted with maypole soap or dolly dyes. White stockings, at 4½ pence a pair, can be dyed likewise. A few of the pilgrims can have ruffs, which are made of strips of coarse muslin or lino, about 4½ yards long and 6 inches wide, pleated and fastened on to a band round the neck, every fold being stitched in front. They must all have cuffs, and most of them wide Puritan collars. The Indians should wear close brown tunics and stockings, moccasins if possible, and fur rugs over the shoulders. Feathers for their headgear can be got at a poulterer's. A red preparation, which does not hurt the skin, can be had at theatrical shops. Stick on long strands of black thread or crape hair, 6s. a yard at Clarkson's, 41 and 43 Wardour Street, West, to represent their straight black hair. For the last scene, the corn chandler will make an effective sheaf of straw for about 1s. Indian corn heads can be imitated by rolls of thick paper covered with orange sateen. Pictures of costumes are to be found in J.R. Green's Short History of the English People, Volume 3, in S.R. Gardiner's Outline of English History. A contemporary Dutch picture giving some idea of the Pilgrim's dress was reproduced in an article called The Pilgrim Fathers in the Sunday Strand, July 1902. Songs 1 to 4 are to well-known tunes in pan-pipes. Routledge, 3s. 6d. Song 3 is No. 197 in Hymns Ancient and Modern. Song 5 is in Songs of the British Islands, W.H. Haddo, Curwen, 2s. 6d. and many collections. Characters represented: Master William Brewster, Master William Bradford, Master John Carver, Master John Alden, Master John Robinson, Master Robert Cushman, Master John Billington, Captain Miles Standish, an officer, Samoset, an Indian, King Massasoit, an Indian, Mistress Mary Brewster, wife to William Brewster, Mistress Priscilla Mullins, Mistress Ellen Billington, wife to John Billington. Act 1, Scene 1, 1608, William Brewster's house at Scrooby. Act 2, Scene 1, August 1620, The Wharf, Southampton. Scene 2, September, on board the Mayflower at Plymouth. Scene 3, November, on board the Mayflower near the coast of America. Scene 4, the coast of America. Act 3, Scene 1, Spring, 1621, the coast of America, inside a hut. Scene 2, Spring, New Plymouth. Act 4, Scene 1, Autumn, 1621, New Plymouth. The voyage of the Mayflower from Plymouth to Cape Cod was 6:16 September to 11:21 November, 1620. End of introductory material. Act 1 of The Enterprise of the Mayflower by Amos MacDonald. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Enterprise of the Mayflower. Prologue. Spoken by William Bradford.
Welcome to all. We show the story of how, nearly 300 years ago, when this country was not so happy as it is now, some people, driven by persecution out of England, went on a long and dangerous voyage in a ship called the Mayflower, and made for themselves a home across the Atlantic Ocean. After they had come near to drowning and starvation, and had encountered savages on a desolate coast, these adventurers finally found much happiness, and our play ends well and with a wedding. The enterprise which we enact for you was in measure the beginning of America. We have a marvelous history to set forth, so you must pardon our poor acting and simple stage, on the which we cannot hope to show the ocean or the desert, nor yet the doings of our pilgrims as they should be. We will do our best, and pray you will all be contented.
Act 1, Scene 1. Beginning of 1608. William Brewster's house at Scrooby in Nottinghamshire. An entrance on left, table opposite with jug and cup. 2 chairs. Chest at back of stage. Enter William Brewster and Mary Brewster.
The sum of our sorrows grows. We, who will not do the king's bidding, and go to what we reckon an unrighteous church, have our houses watched day and night, or are straightway clapped into prison.
We foresaw that we must suffer much for conscience' sake, but we looked not for afflictions as sharp as these, which daily increase upon us.
Noise heard outside.
Hark! Beware! Someone comes.
Enter, left, an officer.
How now, Master Brewster? You are a Puritan, and I must needs search here.
Tell me first, by what right you break thus rudely into my house?
By no right. That is, by all right. For the king himself hath said he will harry all the Puritans out of the land. Have you any hidden here?
You can search.
Officer looks round room, under table, knocks over chair.
I want John Carver. He's a man of some substance, and can pay fines. Robinson, your canting preacher, I must catch him too. And William Bradford, the youth from Austerfield. His kindred did well to mock at his folly. They say he used to walk 10 miles across the wolds to hear this new-fangled ranting. I must get them all. Answer me, have you any of these pestilential people hidden here?
Laughs, and flings open chest.
I'll tell you not.
Nor I.
No matter. I'll get them, and make them pay more fines for failing to obey the king's ordinances. A taste of the jail marvelously cures the love of conventicles. Once under lock and key, your friends, Master Brewster, will fare merrily, better maybe, than their corn and cattle, which meanwhile lack tendance. Ha ha!
Will you so persecute these simple folk who only ask to leave to serve God after their conscience in all peace and innocence?
Peace and innocence? A seditious rabble! Puritan, recusant, separatist, brownist, barrowist, greenwoodist, they are all the same treasonable abomination. But more fines of 20 pounds, Master Brewster, from sundry of these same pious professors may weed them of their folly. But here, I have searched through every chest and hole in this manor house. I must be off and hunt the rats elsewhere.
Bangs down chest.
Forbear.
Nay, an you force me, I can seize you, Master Brewster, for disobedience in religion. You have a fair house and can pay further fines.
I am ready to do so.
Too long has Scrooby Manor been the hiding place of these pests. Your office under the king has helped you, Master Brewster.
I have already suffered imprisonment.
That was when you all endeavoured to escape from the country by stealth.
Truly, when, alas, our fleeing hence was betrayed by the mariners. Our people were taken, and lay a month in the foul air of Boston jail until the council ordered their release, and even then my husband was detained.
There'll be more of that anon for all of you. But now to get the rest. Carver, Robinson, Bradford. We'll have them all, and I'll not answer for how the people will treat these vile and mischievous persons.
Exit. Mary Brewster clasps her hands.
What shall we do?
To what misery are we coming?
Knocking heard outside, and voices.
Let us in, let us in.
Let us in.
William Brewster listens, and then opens door. Enter left, in haste, John Robinson and Priscilla Mullins.
For pity's sake, let us in. Shelter us from the angry brawlers.
Come in. You're safe here.
Bar the door. Alas, my poor child.
I am unhurt, but they threw a stone at Master Robinson.
Bring him hither.
Fetches water, leads Robinson to a chair, bathes his brow.
Shame that they've wounded you, our faithful guide and preacher.
I am much restored. Though weak, I can fend for myself. Thanks, gentle Mistress Brewster. Take heed, friends, lest they break into this house, which has so often sheltered us all. Alas, the times of our meeting here, Sabbath by Sabbath, are come to an end.
Knocking again heard outside.
They come, they come!
Voices outside.
Open! We are friends!
William Brewster opens door. Enter, left, John Carver and William Bradford, with household goods.
Whither shall we go? Our inheritance will soon be consumed.
We have brought these household goods here for safety. Continually we are beset and threatened.
Will all be some day taken from us?
Verily, the officers and searchers daily molest us. Soon we shall have no refuge. You have been our chiefest succor, Master Brewster.
They feared you somewhat while you held the post under the king.
And now, alas, I have no longer the means to help you all, which once were mine. I have resigned the office I held, and another has it.
18 years have you had the management of the posts at Scrooby, and on all the great North Road, between London and the Scottish borders, the king hath no more careful servant to furnish the horses and dispatch his letters.
Now all that is over.
Can no one intercede for us with the king?
Alas, I fear not.
We are like helpless sheep. If we stay, we shall be thrown in prison, robbed or slain.
We cannot remain in England.
We cannot stay, and yet we are not allowed to go. The ports and havens are shut against us.
In our first attempt to flee, we were betrayed. Fines and imprisonment resulted to us. We may fail again, but another, and yet another effort must be made. On the coast, between Grimsby and Hull, are lonely places from which we may secretly escape over to Holland. Friends, this house of mine can shelter us no longer. I shall sell my possessions and go hence with you.
And I shall sell my farm, though to leave our native land and to get our living we know not how, in a strange country, does seem to be a most desperate venture, and a misery worse than death.
Truly, how can we leave our homes?
To remain in England is impossible. We must hence perforce. We have put our hand to the plough and cannot turn back. We must go on. Weep not, nor count the cost.
Robinson rises and takes William and Mary Brewster by the hand. The rest stand on either side.
Truly, let us go forward with no fear, for here we have no sure abiding place. We are pilgrims whose desire is to a distant and a better country.
All go out, left, Robinson leading, followed by William and Mary Brewster, John Carver, William Bradford, and Priscilla Mullins. End of Act 1. Act 2 of The Enterprise of the Mayflower by Amice MacDonald. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 2, Scene 1, August 1620, Southampton. There are two entrances, right and left. The Mayflower is supposed to be lying at the wharf at the back of the stage. Enter left William Bradford with a sack, quills, and paper.
Here, after 12 years, we stand once more in England. Yet not to stay, alas, not to stay here. 12 years we spent in Holland among the friendly Dutch. But we were, for the most part, simple farmers and unused to cities. We feared our children would forget they were English and speak a strange tongue. Nor could we eat the stranger's bread without earning it, and poverty came against us like an armed man. So, now behold us here at Southampton, but not to rest. We dare not abide here. For us it is ever away, and westward ho. Our possessions in England are sold. We have put all our money and lives in a venture to cross the great sea and make a plantation in the north of those wide lands of the Virginia Company. We have besought the king that he would grant us freedom of religion there. Here come our good friends, Carver and Cushman.
Enter, left, John Carver and Robert Cushman with baskets.
If we make a plantation, 'twill be a miracle. Since we resolved to leave Holland and sent our messengers to London, we have been through seas of trouble to get the king's permission and our patent from the company.
His Majesty said we might go to America. Leastways we should not be prevented.
Had we the king's seal as broad as the house floor, it could be reversed if afterwards there was a purpose or desire to harm us. I have continually urged that we make haste and be gone before we be prevented. Here come good Master Brewster and others of our company.
Enter, left, William and Mary Brewster, Priscilla Mullins, carrying bundles. They move to right of stage.
Here we are at Southampton.
And yonder is the wharf, where the Mayflower lies, which is to carry us to the new country. Who is the stranger who approaches?
Enter, left, Captain Miles Standish, who walks up to William Brewster.
Who are you, good gentleman?
Captain Miles Standish.
We heard of your warlike deeds when we were in Holland.
Aye, indeed.
And I have heard that you are a brave people who are going to make a plantation across the seas. I will go with you, if you will have me.
Go with us, Captain?
Yes, you are a peaceful folk, and know little of warfare. You will be in peril from savages out there. I am a fighter, and I can defend you.
How will you join our society?
I'll put my money in your venture. In civil matters, I obey you. In war, I command. Here is my sword at your service. Will you have me or not?
'Tis an excellent offer.
To others.
What think ye?
Let the captain go with us.
Let
him
him
come. You shall be one of us, Captain Standish.
Good. I will go and get powder and shot and muskets. We may need them. Are you going too, mistress?
We all go, Captain.
'Tis well. Adieu.
Goes out, left.
That is a brave man.
But fiery withal, as report has it. He is small of stature, and they say little chimneys are fired the quickest.
Nay, Priscilla, speak not so of our protector. But look you, we must see that all our provisions are put on the ship.
I must go, to give directions and place and safety on the ship. The books we brought so carefully from Scrooby, and then from Leyden.
William and Mary Brewster go out right. Carver takes up basket.
Here are loaves for the voyage.
Goes out right. Cushman takes up basket.
Ah, me! There are plums from the old garden. Alas, the hand of the ungodly and the stranger will gather the fruits which we have painfully nourished. They are fair plums. Say not that I have been negligent.
Goes out right.
I have brought a sack of meal, and moreover these quills and paper, for I propose to write down some day the history of our enterprise. Perchance these, my scribbled writings, which I will piece together in times of future leisure, may be a word of comfort to those who come after. But we tarry. Are you coming, Priscilla?
Goes out left. Enter John Alden, right, whistling. Starts back and bows.
Good morning, fair mistress. Can you tell me where the Mayflower bound for America lies?
Yonder by the wharf, sir. Are you one of our company?
I'm John Alden, a cooper, and hired to go with you. I make the trimmest barrels that ever you saw. Stay, I will show you.
Runs out right and fetches barrel. Re-enters just as Standish comes in from left with his powder cask. They collide in center of stage. Priscilla stands laughing. Alden jumps aside with a bow. Enter left John Billington. Standish to Alden.
Gently, young man, in this barrel is that which would blow us all up to the skies.
Blow us up! Murder! In that cask? I cry your worship's pardon. I'll get behind your worship. Or rather, I will go boldly in front.
Tries to run away, right. Alden springs in front of him.
Who are you?
As good as you. I go to this New England with my wife in these firebrands. I fear we shall be left behind.
Ducks under Alden's arm.
Ellen, Ellen, come.
Rushes out, right. Enter left in haste Ellen Billington.
Where's my husband?
A most foolish, blustering man was here a moment since.
'Tis he! 'Tis he! I want him to carry our goods to the ship. Run and fetch him, young man. Nay, do not smile, but run.
I will run. I will not smile.
Runs out, right. Ellen Billington sinks down on Priscilla's bundle.
I'll wait here.
Fans herself with her apron.
I am near dead with chasing since we resolved to leave London where we dwelt, and come with you into the wilderness. We shall starve there. Have you butter in that cask, good sir?
No, madam, not butter, gunpowder.
What is gunpowder to me? I can't eat it.
The savages may eat you, madam, if we haven't the gunpowder. I have to protect you all, have I not?
Yes, Captain. But see, here comes poor John Alden running.
Re-enter right Alden, panting. To Ellen.
Your husband is out of sight.
Ellen Billington springs up and turns on Alden.
You let him go, you bat, you snail! I'll find him.
Runs out, right.
That pair will be a plague.
They joined themselves to us unbidden. Well, we must go to the ship now, and I must take this.
Stoops to pick up bundle.
Let me take it, mistress.
Nay, I will carry your bundle.
Thanks to you both, but only one of you can carry it.
Ah, the captain is a great man. I'm nothing, so he has the better right.
John Alden did ask me first.
Aye, he did first. Well, you have her word. So take the bundle, Alden, and I will follow with the powder. We must all on board.
Priscilla and Alden move off right, followed by Standish. Scene 2, September 1620. On board the Mayflower at Plymouth. Enter on left William Brewster, Captain Standish, John Carver, William Bradford, John Billington, John Alden, Robert Cushman, Mary Brewster, Priscilla Mullins, Ellen Billington. Brewster and Standish stand in the center, others grouped on either side, Cushman being at extreme right of stage.
Now are we all met together. A fair wind blows, and we are ready to depart. Much time was consumed after we left Southampton, for we had to put into Dartmouth to repair our second ship, the Speedwell, which is now abandoned. The Mayflower alone carries us over the ocean. The hour of departure has come. We must say farewell to the friends we leave behind.
Ah, it is hard to say goodbye when each look and word doth pierce the heart.
Truly, dear friends, I need courage now. You know that I did my best, and labored diligently to covenant with the London merchants for the setting forth of our venture. When matters go wrongly, blame me not. It is the seaman's fault, and not mine, that the Speedwell leaketh, and that you will be packed in one ship. Alas, the waspish fury of contentious men hath undone me. And now, at the last, I am seized with such a weakness that I fear I could but serve as meat for fishes if I came along with you.
Then you will tarry behind.
Alas, I should but die if I did otherwise.
Poor Master Cushman, You will join us one day yonder.
Maybe, Mistress Brewster, maybe I shall. Pardon my weak manner. I must on shore. Farewell.
Shakes hands with each in turn. They all say farewell to him. He hobbles off left.
Only the strongest may abide this venture. We have a letter here from Master Robinson, our preacher. He remains in Leyden, to succour the old and feeble who stay behind there.
Then I wish I were old and feeble. I begin to not like this business.
You can stay.
Can stay, say you? Never. We are going to America. Leastway, I am. You can stay and starve in England, but I am minded to do so across the ocean, chicken-hearted.
Come, come. Master Robinson warns us in his letter against quarrels.
Aye, quarrels. Listen, Ellen.
I listen. Listen to me.
Silence!
Billington trembles.
He says that, as men are careful, not to have a new house shaken with any violence before it is well settled, and the parts firmly knit. So we must be careful in our new colony, not to be shaken by disputes.
That is wisdom.
Finally, Master Robinson gives us much comfort, and says he is a well-wisher for our hopeful voyage.
May we prosper!
I trust so indeed.
Whistle heard.
But now the mariners call. It is time we moved with the tide. They weigh the anchor, and the moment for departing is come. Draw hither, that we may look for the last time on this land.
Alas, never again shall our eyes behold these meadows and cornfields, these homes and the places where our fathers lie buried. Oh.
Weep not. We go to make a New England beyond the sea.
Lo, the sands have run out quickly, and the anchor from the deep rises, and the sails are filling with the forth and growing. Fare you well, ye groves and meadows, now across the ocean wide. Bring the ship of thy poor pilgrims safely to the other side. Here have we had strife and sorrow, every freedom hope to gain. But the hour of our departing has been it for much of pain. Fare you well, ye hills, ye cornfields, now unto the harvest white. For the reapers of thy harvest make the sickle sharp and bright. See, sad tears, the sea hath water salt enough without our share. We who sigh one day rejoicing shall our sheaves of corn prepare. Fare you well, who ride behind us, witness of the vow we've made. If thou lead us through the waters, we pass over undismayed.
All pass off slowly, right, as if to the end of ship to see the last sight of the coast. Scene 3. On board the Mayflower, at sea, November 1620. Table, with paper, ink, quills at back of stage. Enter John Alden and Priscilla, left.
They say the mariners have brought us out of our course. 9 long weeks are gone, and still no sight of land. You're pale and weary, Priscilla.
Oh, what a night of tempest we have had! We nearly sank in that storm. See how the waves still roll to and fro.
Aye, and here, lass, is another tempest. Here comes John Billington railing at all things.
Enter left John Billington.
How now, Master Billington?
How now? Speak not so sharply, Mistress Priscilla Mullins. I am half dead with the tossing of this most intolerable ship.
We have all been sorely tossed.
Tossed by mad bulls. If you like, I care not. I tell you there is naught to eat.
Aren't we all hungry?
That comforts me not. This is a foolish voyage, and we should not listen to that hot-headed knave, Miles Standish.
No more of that.
Truly, soft. Here comes the captain.
Entered left, Captain Standish.
Good morrow, Mistress Priscilla, and fairer weather.
During the storm the mariners were oft seen muttering together, and 'twas said they doubted the ship's strength sufficient for the voyage. Shall we ever come to shore in safety?
The Mayflower will weather the tempest. 'Tis strong under water, though the upper works are leaky. 'Twas a main beam which had sprung.
We had all drowned last night, Captain, had you not devised a way to keep out the water.
Then you have a good piece of iron, and not me to thank. By means of a strong iron bar, we forced the beam back into place. We have come too far north. We shall not land where we intended. But these shoals and breakers would show that we are now not far from shore.
Oh, folly. Jonah was lodged better than this.
Who's that? Ho, John, art dying?
To be drowned at sea, to be killed, when we get to shore, to be cooked and eaten by savages. Would I might return.
It is over far for you to swim back to old England. You are nearer the New World now.
Swim home. That is a foolish jest. Cold wind, cold water, cold sky. I am freezing.
Here then, stir yourself. We must have muskets in the wilderness. Come with me, and see that our arms are not wet with salt water.
I am weary. Let that vain coxcomb help you.
Come, Billington.
I am weary, I tell you.
Come, come, so am I.
Seizes Billington.
Come along.
Billington's hat comes off. Standish and Alden carry him off, struggling.
Hold! Men of violence, hold!
Standish and Alden go out with Billington, right. Priscilla laughs and throws the hat after them.
Take thy hat, old Marjoy. Yet I would we were all safely there. It seems we must use much patience ere we come to the end of our pilgrimage.
Goes out, right. Enter William Brewster and Mary Brewster, left.
Another night is gone.
Time creeps on. Think you our food will last? It will be winter weather when we arrive.
We have somewhat, but much is damaged by the sea. The water casks are low, and the bread we bought in Devonshire waxes stale.
We must keep all we can for going ashore.
Let us look forth. The daylight is behind us. In front all is dim. Yet, can you see nothing?
Only the sea through the mist.
I thought I saw something dark. Low down. There, look! Can it be land?
We have looked so often in vain, yet wait. Perhaps you're right. Yes, hark!
Voices outside cry, Land! Land!
What's that?
They sighted land!
William and Mary Brewster turn round. Re-enter Captain Standish, right.
Good cheer! The mist has lifted, and we are near land.
Re-enter John Billington and Ellen Billington.
Near land? Now we shall run on the rocks.
Enter John Carver, left, and William Bradford.
I can see a good harbor.
The trees grow to the very edge of the sea.
Re-enter John Alden, right.
Oh, what a glad sight to see the shore.
Now our real troubles begin. To be cooked and eaten. Oh.
I'll throw you.
Peace. Peace, friends. We have departed somewhat from our course, and with these adverse seas we shall not be able to go southward now and make the shores of Hudson's River. We are in sight of the new country, and of a good harbor, and soon shall step on land. For matters of religion, Master Robinson hath left me as your guide. In war we look to Captain Miles Standish. In civil affairs we make John Carver governor.
Long live Governor Carver.
I hope we shall all live long, but I doubt it.
Now draw hither a table, and set quills and paper.
Alden and Bradford set table, etc.
Here is our compact.
Shows a paper.
We, the loyal subjects of King James, have undertaken, for the advancement of religion and the honor of our king and country, to plant the first colony in the northern parts of Virginia, and we all promise to obey the laws which we find it good to make. Let each sign his name.
Each in turn signs paper solemnly.
'Tis dated Cape Cod, this 11th day of November, 1620.
And now let us go on shore.
All move off, right. Scene 4. The coast of America. Winter weather. The sea is supposed to be on left. Sticks and branches lie on the ground. William Brewster, John Carver, Captain Standish, William Bradford, John Alden, John Billington, Mary Brewster, Priscilla Mullins, Ellen Billington, standing in a group, with Brewster, Mary Brewster, Standish, and Carver in the center.
The rock beneath, the sand behind, the awful sea with cheerful voice. O'er the waves, o'er the wind, we brought to safety, now rejoice. Now rejoice, now rejoice, we brought to safety, now rejoice.
The fiery pillars still by night shall guide thy people on their way. Moving on in our sight, the cloud will lead us through the day.
Through the day, through the day, the cloud will lead us through the day. Upon this rock thy arm shall rest, and here thy banner be unfurled. Here shine forth, candle blessed, that shall give light unto the world. To the world, to the world, that shall give light unto the world.
How good it is to stand on firm ground! Though this is a desolate country, the snow is our carpet, and the sky and the bare boughs our only roof. Come under my cloak, Priscilla. The wind blows. You are very cold.
Takes Priscilla under her cloak.
We will kindle a fire under this rock. Here are some faggots.
Fetches sticks.
Come, bestir yourself, Billington, or you will freeze.
This is an abominable land. It were better to be cooked by the heathen than abide this cold.
You should rejoice to be on land and escaped from the rolling sea.
The sea. Talk not of that.
Come, we must all help.
They pile up sticks.
We must see what country lies around us, and if Indians are near.
And we must also find a place where we can build our homes.
Someone must stay to protect the women.
I am ready to stay and shield them.
Flourishes a stick.
At least I will guard the fire.
I would not stay if I were a man.
You are not, Ellen.
No, indeed. If I were, I would go with the captain.
I will take Billington whether he will or no, and Bradford and Alden with me. Master Brewster, will you stay?
Verily, if thereby I can best serve you.
Then we are ready.
Speak not for others.
Have a care to yourselves.
Aye, we go forth like lambs to be eaten by savages.
The Indians may be hidden. Be not rash, John Alden.
Captain Standish goes out on right with Carver, Bradford, Alden, and Billington. Brewster and the women go out left. End of Act 2. Act 3 of The Enterprise of the Mayflower by Amice MacDonald. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 3, Scene 1. The Coast of America, Spring 1621. Inside a hut, door on left. 2 chairs, a table on which is a cup and a jug. At the back some bricks to represent a fireplace with a pot on it. Enter left Mary Brewster and Priscilla.
The winter months have worn away. It grows milder now, but our people are ill, and I fear many will die.
Yes, and I trust this last expedition has met with no mishap. There are savage Indians and wolves in the forest. They might lose their way. They might be drowned. They might die of hunger.
I think the captain will bring them safely back, Priscilla.
We must be patient. Nay, but hark!
Jumps up.
There's a step. Verily, 'tis John Alden himself. My heart is rejoiced.
Enter left John Alden.
We are returned. There is a great lake, Priscilla, near the place where our town will be built.
Our dwelling place is well chosen.
Yes, for we have a good harbour, and a sweet brook runs under the hill. It was Billington who espied the lake from a tall tree. But what with the woods and the thickets, we were long enough in finding it. We are footsore, and our clothes are near torn to ribbons by the thorns and the briars.
We had thought of worse dangers. Our hearts were more troubled for you than for your doublet, John Alden.
Are you all well?
All save Governor Carver, who near perished of pain and weariness. He was fainting, and the good captain is bringing him hither.
Enter left Captain Standish with Governor Carver, who is ill. Mary Brewster rises.
Captain Standish is ever ready to help the sick.
Let Master Carver sit by the fire. He is faint to death.
Mary Brewster leads Carver to fire.
Come, good Master Carver, sit here.
How pale he looks.
Mary Brewster feels his forehead.
His head burns.
Takes his hand.
His hand is like ice. Get me that cup.
Priscilla gets cup. Mary fills it and places it to Carver's lips.
I will stir the soup for you, Priscilla.
You are skilful, Captain.
I learned that when I was a soldier in Holland.
You can do many things, Captain.
Alas, Priscilla, I can do naught with words as Alden doth.
Maybe 'tis so.
Well, Priscilla, look to Master Carver. He is very feeble. And now to business. I have called all our company together. Before we can go on building our town, we must have a council of war, and consult how to protect ourselves.
Enter left William Brewster, William Bradford, John Billington, Ellen Billington. The women form themselves into a group on left by Carver. The men are on the right, with Standish in the center.
We must consider how to prepare ourselves in case we be attacked by savages. It seems they are near us.
While they were gathering thatch, our people heard cries of the Indians in the woods.
I saw one, tall and red, that glided into the thicket when I was getting sticks.
They are near us, and we know not if their intentions are friendly. We must be ready to defend ourselves.
This is your business. You must counsel us, good captain.
Here are my plans. On the hill we will have a fort, from which we can see the country round. Hark!
A cry is heard outside. Standish turns left, draws his sword.
They are on us.
Men all rise. Turn left towards door. Billington jumps behind Standish.
Oh! Murder! Murder! We are dead men.
Enter left Samoset, an Indian. He stands quite still. All gaze in wonder, and there is a pause till Samoset speaks.
Welcome, Englishmen.
Wonder of wonders! He speaketh in English.
Then maybe he is not so heavily inclined.
Who are you? Is your errand peace?
I am called Samoset, and I am lord among our people. I come to you with peace in my heart. See, I lay my spear at your feet.
Then welcome, Samoset. How come you to speak English?
English sailors were here before you, and taught me your language.
How did you know we were here?
I saw your footprints, and I knew they were the footprints of white men.
And you came to see us?
I dwell northward in the land of King Massasoit, and he sent me to say that he will be friendly with the Englishmen. For me, I like them well.
That is well for us. 'Tis a noble savage.
Will you be our interpreter, Samoset, with the other Indians, so that we may talk and trade with them?
Yea, and King Massasoit will come, and he will make a feast.
We shall receive him gladly, if he come as a friend. Stay, Samoset. We English call this place Plymouth, and Plymouth was the last port at which we called in England. How do you name it in Indian?
It is Patuxet.
Unto whom does it belong?
4 years ago a plague did slay all the people, and now the country is no man's.
Then there is naught to hinder our possession. Would you like this knife as a present, Samoset?
Yes, yes. Oh, sharp, very sharp.
You can use it on this.
Give Samoset some bread.
Aye, use thy knife on this bread, but not us.
Samoset eats heartily.
You like our English victuals?
Yea, good, good. I tell King Massasoit of the good food.
John Billington, aside.
Would we could give you and ourselves rather more of it, sweet savage.
Men from over the great sea, hearken. I will teach you to make furrows and sow maize corn. In the forest are deer, the fish in bright pools, eels in the mud. I will catch eels for you. Follow me there, and you shall eat the food of the forest.
They all go out together, Samoset leading. Scene 2. New Plymouth, Spring 1621. Enter left Priscilla, with maize in her apron.
Farewell to the Mayflower. We have had the last sight of her masts against the sky as she sails back to old England. Yet not one of our company hath turned from the enterprise, though we have been in sore straits since our coming here, and near half our number are dead. The winter is past and gone. Spring has come. The birds sing, and here are the furrows where we must plant the Indian corn, which in this country makes our bread. When the oak leaves are the size of a mouse's ear, so say the Indians, then must the corn be set. I will scatter the seed as Samoset taught us, and sing as I scatter. The winter time is past, now flows the stream, the grass is springing. The desert blossoms like the rose, the hills break forth in singing.
Scatter seed.
The wind blows healing from the south, our pain and grief it killeth. The hand of God the hungry mouth with food and drink now filleth. The winter's past, and now with mirth arise with joy abounding. Lift up your heads, for through the earth the voice of God is sounding.
Enter left John Alden.
Ah, that is a sweet song, Priscilla. Where did you learn it?
The tune ran in my head through the long winter days, and when spring came, I found the words for the tune. Yet I could weep for those who will not see the ripening of the corn.
We shall never forget Master Carver, and those we buried on the hill in the rain and the winds. I would they could have seen the summer here. There will be a fair field of corn, Priscilla. See, here comes the captain with Samoset.
Enter left Captain Standish and Samoset.
Whither do you go?
Into the forest with Samoset as my guide to bring King Massasoit here, that we may make a treaty of peace with him. Shall I leave John Alden to protect you?
That is as you will, good captain.
Nay, it is not, Priscilla. But we linger, who should be gone. So, come, Samoset.
By night we must be at the deep river which is the beginning of Massasoit's country.
Standish and Samoset go out, right.
Fare you well.
Priscilla and Alden go out left together. End of Act 3. Act 4 of The Enterprise of the Mayflower by Amice MacDonald. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 4, Scene 1. Autumn 1621, New Plymouth. On right, a feast is spread on benches, or a rough table, decorated with branches and flowers. Enter left John Billington with a basket of berries. Looking round.
'Tis a fine autumn day. and we have been in this place near a year. The house is decked for our guests, and a good feast is spread out here.
Peeps at food on table, pokes and sniffs at it.
Venison from the woods, wild fowl from the lake, which men call Billington Sea, for I espy the lake from a tall tree. Better birds than any I did ever buy in London in the East cheap. Well, here's my gift basket to the feast. Those blackberries in the basket of leaves, made with mine own hands.
Sets it on the table and admires it, rubbing his hands.
I'm a clever fellow. Today we have a Thanksgiving for our first harvest in New England. And today we celebrate the wedding of John Alden and Priscilla. After all, we have not fared so ill. I'm almost persuaded to be merry. Now if you would plantations make, and cities in the wild, oh, you must much joy and ease forsake, and find much toil and care, oh, and find much toil and care, oh. For here you'll find no stall or shop, nor do the streams run wine, oh. If you are idle, prithee stop, stay where you are, I beg, oh. Stay where you are, I beg, oh. Then cross the seas and join us here, and leave your cares behind, oh. If you will work, there's not to fear, and very much to gain, oh, and very much to gain, oh.
Enter Ellen Billington, right. He takes her hand.
Come, Ellen, there is no one to say us nay. I have a mind to dance.
They dance towards right of stage. Enter, left, William and Mary Brewster, with flowers in her hand. Ellen Billington, looking over her shoulder.
Peace, peace! A truce with these profanities. Here comes Master Brewster.
The Billingtons rush out right.
Our harvest is gathered. The first frost hath touched the air, and in the forest the maples show like flames. Here are flowers, purple and gold. There is not a cloud, and all things join to make glad Priscilla's wedding day. Standish brings King Massasoit to our feast.
Little did I think all would end so well. Mary, you were hopeful, even in our darkest days.
Ay, but I never looked for so swift a reward. Lo, here come our guests.
Enter, left, a procession. Governor Bradford with Samoset, Captain Standish with King Massasoit, John Billington with Ellen Billington, and John Alden with his bride Priscilla. They carry fruits and boughs and heads of Indian corn. The Billingtons bring in a sheaf which is placed in the center of the stage. All form into a semicircle with Alden and Priscilla in the middle, Standish, Massasoit, Samoset, and the Billingtons on the right, the Brewsters and Bradford on the left. Mary Brewster steps forward and throws flowers at Priscilla's feet.
Evermore may joy attend you, John Alden and Priscilla.
Welcome to you all.
Samoset and Massasoit exchange signs.
King Massasoit greets you.
Let the king be placed here, next to Governor Bradford.
Standish brings Massasoit over to left and puts him next to Bradford, and then returns to his place on right.
There is our feast. Life in the woods makes us hungry.
Each guest hath brought something.
I made the bread.
I caught the fish.
These are the fruits of my toil. A noble basket of blackberries. 'Tis a brave wilderness.
It is a fair land, which we have added to the realms of King James.
We had never done this without Miles Standish.
William Brewster takes Standish by the hand.
Good Captain Standish.
Long live the captain!
Billington throws his hat in the air.
Thanks, friends. I only did for you as I promised. Now we have friends among the Indians.
Looks at Samoset. Samoset signs to King Massasoit, who bends his head.
I look for peace, and I shall stay and plow my land along with you all.
And beat your sword into a plowshare?
Nay, I will keep my sword.
Yet sheathe it now, for this is a day of peace. Let us wish wealth to John Alden and his bride, and rejoice over our first harvest here.
Long life to Priscilla and John Alden in the new country.
Long life to Priscilla and John Alden.
This exile and journeying here hath not severed our hearts from the land of our birth. And now, forgetting the afflictions there endured, we turn with exceeding love to the country we have left behind us.
We look sometimes soon to the coming of a ship, which brings news of our friends in England. 'Twill tell us of our faithful preacher, Master Robinson. Poor Robert Cushman may come to us in this ship. We will send back a letter to tell of the happy ending of our pilgrimage.
We were not those whom discouragements could turn back, or make to wish themselves at home. And we have come to prosperity, through much peril and sorrow. As out of little things, great wonders may come, and one small candle kindle 1,000. So we have made a light for many, and laid the foundations of a new England.
Bring in your sheaves and lay them down. This is the crowning of the year. See if the forest glades around our golden harvest of the year. When in the ground we sowed the seed, and all the furrows bare did weep, we never thought that we by now so fair in autumn field should reap. Never thought that we by now so fair in autumn field should reap. We came in hunger and in tears who now for very joy do sing. And see throughout our new made land the promise of each coming spring. Oh, friends that we have left behind, hear what we say, whoever you be. We only left the land we love to make New England o'er the sea. Only left the land we love to make New England o'er the sea. Here they shall never speak our tongue, and walk in ways which make them free. And one day mighty in the earth, the people dwelling here shall be. And they like us shall year by year lift up in praise a thankful voice. Shall gather up their sheaves with joy, and o'er the harvest fields rejoice. Gather up their sheaves with joy, and o'er the harvest fields rejoice.
During song, all move round stage in procession and go off left, singing last verse. Bradford leads with King Massasoit, Standish with Samoset, William and Mary Brewster, Priscilla and Alden, John and Ellen Billington. End of Act 4, and end of The Enterprise of the Mayflower by Amice MacDonell.